going? Is it still going? 10 seconds. We get connection. We get viewers checking in. Looks like this one might have made it. All right. Now we can finally get going. So Kamala is, and here's the other awesome thing. I had all these tabs set up on my browser. Fatal mistake for that move is that I used the same browser that Restream was on, and now they're all gone. Awesome. So I'll just throw up some polls here. I told you, you people need to start listening to me. Will you start listening to me, please? I got somebody who's got some advice for you.
Wake up, goddammit!
Yeah, exactly. Wake up. I said November was not going to be close. I'm not yet calling landslide, but I said forget about these damn polls. And I know, yeah, I'm telling you, forget about polls, and I'm going to talk about polls. But it's what everybody's using. It's really actually, I'm using it today to prove the point that I was making 6 months ago and longer. Polls are used by the media and by these think tanks, the pollsters, who are manipulating the numbers to keep themselves relevant. Why? Well, that's their job, is to be relevant. So why be honest and say 8 months ago that Joe Biden was really winning the whole time for the same reason that I told you a moment ago, that we really got no other choice. I wasn't so much against Joe Biden because of age or competence. When he just like sits back and thinks things over and is in the situation room with the guys and the gals, he's fine. Why? He's in as stressful as the job is. I've been there for some of it and I've seen it firsthand. I know, besides the fact that it's what I've studied my entire collegiate career, he's got good company. He listens. I know there's one famous thing with, what was it, Afghanistan or whatever the other one, where he didn't listen to the Joint Chiefs, but he listens to the Joint Chiefs. He listens to his cabinet. He talks to Congress. And I think it would have been fine. But here's the media keeping themselves relevant, and they keep pushing this he's too old thing. Because all these leaders, like Uncle John said what's today? So I guess last Thursday? No, it was yesterday morning. Yesterday morning at Breakfast with Champions, our Monday morning call, he was saying about this guy is a leader in the community on this radio show. And this guy is a leader on this community, for the rest of the community, on this radio show. All the conservatives are over here, and all the libtards are over there. They're all saying the same thing. What kind of a leader says the same as everybody else? Is anybody standing out right now? Wave to the camera. I'm liberal. I'm progressive. I'm conservative. I'm practical. I actually do my own thing. Does Dan Bongino do that? No. Bobble is the biggest sheep in the herd. And that's not a good thing It's like, oh, he's the big. No, he's not the Ram. He's right there marching in step with Tucker, Benny Boy, Shapiro, not Brian Shapiro, Ben Shapiro. I wonder if anybody ever gives him crap for that. Oh, that's gotta suck. And just checking in on Restream, we're still going. We'll figure out this thing. I don't know if it was because I was on two. I was on doing the test earlier today with both Restream and StreamYard. Brian Shapiro's show is streamed on StreamYard, and having been a customer that I know that when I go on his show later today, I can add two of my own destinations to his broadcast, which I would absolutely do. Always cross promote. He's obviously promoting me. And believe me, he doesn't need my help. But it's about intentions and about doing what's right. Like thinking for yourself, Danny boy. So I should stop rambling because we got 40 minutes to get left and we've got polls to talk about. We've got JD going into spiraling downward spiral of interviews. We've got Brandon, not Let's Go Brandon, but Brandon. I still can't believe I never saw that. Oh my God. Brandon, this hot guy. I mean, I'm not going to deny that. Now all of a sudden that he's a douchebag. Gorgeous. Great body. Straight. So, there's that. I mean, nobody's perfect. His wife is also beautiful. So maybe, they're in LA or he's from LA. He's from California. He moved out because he couldn't take the liberal government. You moved out during Arnold Schwarzenegger. What was wrong with the liberal government then? These people don't think that you're going to figure stuff like that out. Maybe because I actually think for myself, I've got that capability. Unlike you, Brandon. So he moves out of California, moves to Miami, where it's so conservative in Miami. No, that wasn't your camera freezing. That was me freezing. So conservative in Miami. So Brandon, his hot wife, I'm thinking, maybe they're in Miami. Maybe, just maybe that modern couple family. And that they're both perhaps a little trisexual. After all, Miami's not that expensive of a flight or that long of a 5-hour drive. I'm going to fly anytime I go to Miami. Sorry, I'm not driving through the Everglades. No, not happening. So we got some hate mail to talk about. But first up, Pierre Robert is a disc jockey from 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia. Got his start back in his home area of the San Francisco Bay Area. Was on a station, progressive rock station, back in the late 70s, early 80s, very early 80s, when he got the word that they're changing formats and they went to urban country. I don't even know what that is, but urban country, like Bon Jovi, on a steel horse I ride. But it didn't work out for him. Wasn't his thing. So he packed up Minerva. That's his Volkswagen van. Took his buddy to college in Philadelphia. And the rest is literally history. This guy sends a tape to the program director of 93.3 WMMR. The guy says no. a little bummed out. He's hanging in Philly with his buddy who's about to start college. And he goes down to the famous tourist district called South Street. Sees a psychic who tells him he needs to rush home. There's a letter for him that's very important. He is thinking home is San Francisco. So he goes home to his Philly place to call San Francisco when he finds a letter from WMMR. They've reconsidered and would like him to reconsider. And like I said, the rest is history. That was 43 years ago. Pierre Robert does something in a show called, well, I don't know what he calls it, but he does a toast of the morning sauce in someone's direction, the direction of a good citizen, that being a listener, as he calls them, good citizens. And I got to fix my camera here. Give me 1 second. There we go. And he toasts them on the air, thanks them for whatever they've done to better the community in the Philadelphia listening area and the market. And so we've stolen that, honored him with it by calling it Pierre's Pot, as in pot of coffee. That being said, the man is a 69-year-old hippie of the finest order. And so that's why on the video versions of today's show and everyday show, you see the rather decorative and colorful plant right behind the coffee pot. A little play on words. Today's recipient of Pierre's Pot is Ben Shapiro wow. Wow. My most humble apologies, Brian. Brian Shapiro. And now I'm even just like second guessing myself. I'm going to make sure I even get that name right. Yep, there it is. Brian Shapiro at KSHP. I made a video for him last night, kind of like a 10-minute long air check. He wanted to know like the ins and outs of the show, so that's what I sent him. You get to see what I look like. They get to hear what I sound like. And he took the effort to rather quickly. I wrote him over the weekend. I found his channel on YouTube. Saw that it was, like this and like so many, they got a radio show. No, this guy has a real radio show. He's on actual radio. He gets callers. Hello, by the way, 1-888-88 Yergz. Let's go. Give us a call. Tell us how cool you think Pierre's story is, how cool Brian's is for helping us out. Or tell me what an ass I am for putting down JD again, picking on the easy guy. I mean, it is, but. So, Brian, I write him over the weekend, say, hey, checked out your show. Like it? Cool. Like what you're doing? He seems also rather honest. And one of the questions I'm going to have for him today, are you a progressive? Do you consider yourself a progressive or a liberal? Or are you like me, progressive, liberal, and conservative, that I'm just not jumping on the Trump train? I'm flying. I'm not even taking rail and being anywhere near that guy. Plenty of things about me that are conservative. You're learning them. And we'll get to all of them throughout the course of what is Up the Middle. I mean, that's, look at the name of the show, Up the Middle. That's it. That's why. I come at you from both sides, and boy, can that be overwhelming. But I like Brian's show. I like that he's on the West Coast. I like that he's in a swing state. He's in Nevada. I like that the station he's at least according to the schedule, that was programmed or published on the website has some openings right now, 8 o'clock Pacific. That's us. That's us. Maybe it'll be a good fit for me to join the team out at KSHP. We'll find out. And that's what he's working on. That's when we were talking about emailing back and forth about my guest appearance, because he wants to talk about me being in the Secret Service and what I think about Trump and what I think about the assassination attempts and a bunch of different things. He's fascinated with my story, and I'm happy to help him fill some airtime. But I asked him about the opening. He really didn't seem to know what I was talking about, and missed the fact that in my first email to him, I also told him briefly about my show. Reminded him of that. He's like, oh, let me look. I sent him late last night a 10-minute video that I did. Kind of give him a tour of the studio, the background of the show, a background of me, how I got into this mess in the first place. Oh, this damn light. So I've got a ring light that I just have sitting on top of a filing cabinet. And it's got a remote that you can adjust the lighting on. And in recent weeks, it just changes. It just changes. That's it. Changes. And that's really awesome when you're in the middle of a show and all of a sudden the lights go out. That's fun. So 3:35 today, 3:35 Eastern, 12:35 Pacific, I will be on a show called Pushing the Limits on KSHP in Las Vegas. I'm going to try to put it on Yergz Radio and Rainbow Radio. Obviously, that's not my show to rebroadcast. So, I gotta be cool about that and let them know. Say, hey, do you want to be simulcasted today? I mean, I don't know what else he's on and what kind of agreement he's got with that station. Yeah, I would love to be on there too, but if they say no, you got to drop everything else. No, this is why I'm doing this thing that Coach John calls self-syndication. Because now I've got, these dogs are just like cuteness overload. Because now I've got this amount of growth. I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to get a commercial job someday, somewhere. And it's going to be from this studio. And they're going to let me keep those other stations. Why would you not want to do that? Because you're also growing your listening audience. And if they say, no, we just want you. No, I'm not doing it. There goes the light again. I know I got spirits in here. Kamala. Marcella has said, oh, who's the guy behind you? I don't know. You're the psychic. So anyway, I love what Brian's doing with his show. Besides the fact that he's having me on later this afternoon. Again, that is 3:35 Eastern, 12:35 Pacific on KSHP, or you can watch it on YouTube. His show is his channel, and his show is called Pushing the Limits with Brian Shapiro. And for what you do, man, thank you for what you do. Here is Pierre's pot with a toast of the morning sauce in your direction. Well done. I will see you this afternoon. Okay. Oh. Praise Jesus for coffee. Up next, we're going to talk about Kamala surging, JD plummeting. Let's pay a few bills. It's 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, UG Media, Rainbow Radio, Yergz Radio, and everybody on the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this. Smell nasty. Do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergz. I'm burning right now leather scented candle. That's right, leather scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergz and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yergz Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergz.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergz.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergz.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergz today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. Hey gang, it's Yergz. Right now, our country is about to embark on yet another controversial presidential election. I have an actual question, legitimate question, as a political scientist and historian by education. If you are a Trump supporter, I want to hear from you. I want to know what your appeal to Donald Trump is at this time. Please email me news, N-E-W-Z, at yergz.com. News, N-E-W-Z, at yergz.com. Thanks. Participants must be willing to provide their contact information, answer a series of questions, and then have their first name broadcast over the radio and social media relevant to Up the Middle. Hi, King. So during the commercial break, I was supposed to bring up the tabs that Kamala Harris surging and JD tanking. Did some sound checks. Everything else has sounded great. Shout out to everybody at America One Radio. You can listen to them. It's progressive radio at americaoneradio.com. Ooh. They're also in Atlanta. WDJY 99.1 FM, also in Atlanta. That's our terrestrial station. You can listen to them anywhere at WDJYFM.com. 1490 WWPR is Fridays only. We're working on that. This Friday, we're going to be starting with WTAN and WDCF. That's 4 more stations with 2 call letters because they're on both AM and FM. You can find out about all 4 of those stations by going to TAN Talk, TAN Talk.com. And those are getting us throughout the rest of the Tampa Bay. Once we're on with them, we'll be from all the way up in Brooksville, all the way down to Sarasota, and as far east as Polk City, Plant City, Winter Haven, and almost all the way to Orlando. And then, of course, the UG.media every Tuesday and Thursday, every Tuesday and Friday. Friday's a live show. Tuesday's a recorded show. I don't know which one they use because I haven't been sending them anything. So I should probably be listening right now just to see what's on. We'll do that during the next break. And then, of course, rainbowradio.gay, yergzradio.com, and the rest of the mastiff.media network. Kamala is surging. Both the kids are laying right here, and Matrix has his digestive issues that sometimes makes him make noises like that. Trump to return the campaign trail after potential assassination attempt. So I saw this yesterday. I'm going to go to this one first. I don't know what the Forbes one is, if that's a national or if that's Pennsylvania. But this is huge, gang. This is really, really key because she was already leading in some of the other swing states. But let's see, where's it at? Here. Oh, I can never find that damn. Where do I keep? Oh, is it in sources? Yeah, there we go. Okay. 270towin.com. We're going to keep track of this too. But we're going to take a look at. Oh, hold on. We got a video starting up. We're going to take a look at where Mama Kamala is now leading. Pennsylvania being one of them. And I guess that's good enough. Yeah. So Harris is leading Trump in Pennsylvania and 2 bellwether Pennsylvania counties. That is a conservative area, is what they're referring to. Harris leads Trump, the second bullet point here. For those with video, for those with not, listen up. Harris leads Trump 49% to 46% in Pennsylvania. A statewide poll of 500 likely Pennsylvania voters conducted September 11th to September 15th found. Harris also enjoys higher personal popularity among likely Pennsylvania voters, with 49% having a favorable opinion of the vice president compared to 47% with an unfavorable opinion. What is your unfavorable opinion? If it's because you feel she hasn't really done much, I get that. I see that. It hasn't been and is certainly no longer accurate. But I know that's what the media, remember we talked about how they like to keep themselves relevant. That's what the media's been pushing. So from Washington, where this was originated, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris narrowly leads. I saw another line there. Sorry. Narrowly leads former President Donald Trump in the critical battleground state of Pennsylvania and 2 of the state's key bellwether counties, according to a trio of exclusive USA Today Suffolk University polls taken after last week's debate. With 50 days until Election Day, Harris leads Trump, the Republican nominee, 49 to 56 in Pennsylvania. Statewide poll, we talked about that, 500. The results are within the poll's margin of error of 4.4 percentage points. Okay, so what's that mean? That means that really this means nothing, actually. When it comes down to it, he could still win Pennsylvania. He could still win anywhere else where they have this margin. Pennsylvania is widely regarded as the most important battleground of the 2024 election, with both nominees' payouts to 270 electoral votes severely hampered without carrying it. I don't totally agree with that. I mean, Pennsylvania's 19 electoral votes are key. It's a good number. And they're the most, I didn't know this part. This is cool. Pennsylvania's 19 electoral votes are the most among the current 7 top swing states. Let's go to the map. So this is from 270 to win, 270to win.com. And what you're seeing there, what's already various shades of red, are states that are anticipated to go to Trump. What are in various shades of blue are states that are anticipated to go to Kamala Harris. And you see at the top those varying stages or shades. 191 electoral votes are solid for Kamala Harris. 34, yeah, got a good chance. 94 are a good chance of going to Trump. Those are not as definite. And 125 are pretty solid for Trump, with 93 in this tan area being what are right now up for grabs. Here's, and I don't have them all open anymore, but here's what we know. Trump has a slight lead, and you see that's even lighter. We got Alabama here, Mississippi, Louisiana, South Carolina in solid red. Florida is a little bit lighter. We're going to talk about that in a second. But Trump has just points of a lead in Georgia. Again, why this conversation about all these states are so really ultimately irrelevant is because it's all also within the margin of error, which means on any given day, we could be flipping the color, not just the shade, but the color from red to blue or from blue to red. Current polls right now show Trump with a slight edge in what was won by Biden. Remember, just find me 11,000 votes. That was there. So what was won by Biden is now a slight lead by Trump in Georgia. Are you ready for this? This was a news story last week. Kamala Harris has a slight lead in North Carolina. Yeah. And while we're at it, the lead in Florida is closing in. Senator Rick Scott is running for re-election and he's essentially statistically tied with Debbie. I can't pronounce her last name. It's a hyphenated name. The first half I can't pronounce. I'm not going to screw it up and try. Debbie something Powell is the Democrat running against him. She's a former congresswoman from Florida. She's got a strong following, and she's pretty damn close, especially considering the fact that she's spending a fraction of the money he is. This guy is senior in the Senate. In fact, this is what I love when guys do stuff like this and why I don't. This guy's already saying about he's going to run for Senate Majority Leader when he wins re-election. Dude, you're a point ahead of your opponent in a state where people don't like you. Let's get yourself reelected first. And I mean, that's a strategic thing that I would say. I'm not saying that because I would love nothing more than to turn this state purple. And again, I'm for balance. So I'm not against all Republicans. I'm just against MAGA. And clearly, Rubio is almost got his head up Trump's rear end, but his ears blocked him. And so he's stuck. Also, I don't know if I want to lighten up Texas at all. I'm going to just to show you a point. And, to show you that it's the reason is Ted Cruz is running for re-election and is only a couple points ahead of his opponent. Now, Blake Fisher from our Friday show will tell you that those couple of points are solid and there's nothing for Ted Cruz to worry about. I don't know. There are Democratic members in Congress from Texas. There have been other Democrats from Texas. Lyndon Johnson was a Democrat. So and Colin Allred is not a disliked or unknown person. So there's a serious chance there, especially with how the Attorney General of Texas is hated, who, by the way, is MAGA. There's something falling here, gang. Out here, this is where Brian's at, where Kamala has a slight lead there. Are you seeing now, for those of you on the screen that are following, that bar at the top now shows 3 shades of blue and 3 shades of red? It's the lighter, the less likely, the darker, the stronger the grip of that candidate. Kamala's got a slight lead in Nevada. Trump got a slight lead in Arizona. You see what that's doing. Right now, with Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania still not checked in, we got 248 for Kamala Harris in the Democratic ticket, 246 for Trump and the Republicans. Here we go. As of last week, Kamala actually had both Wisconsin, and I don't know by how much. It was somewhat solid. Maybe it's the middle blue. Maybe. But we're going to make it light blue. And just by those, under the current circumstances, we send her to 273. And that's it. 270 to win's the name of the website for a reason. Remember, we said North Carolina was barely in hers? Let's change that. Now it's 262 in Trump's favor to 257 in Kamala's, or for Kamala. So we've got that 5-point difference in Trump's favor right now if we change North Carolina to Trump, with Kamala still getting a relatively commanding, from what I understand, grasp of the Great Lakes, minus Indiana and Ohio, who are barely, Indiana's barely on any of the Great Lakes, but she's got Illinois solid, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. Ohio is lighter in shade. It's one of the middle shades. It's 17 out of the 24 electorals for that middle shade of red. Pennsylvania, remember, we said right now is leaning to Harris, giving her 276 to 62, 276 to 262 in favor of Kamala Harris without North Carolina. Let's leave everything that we see there. Let's leave it alone and talk about 2 other states. We said she's leading in North Carolina. Okay. Leaving everything alone and changing North Carolina back to her, we go to 292 to 246. I am really strong to think she's going to take everything across the Great Lakes as you see it there. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois, and Pennsylvania. And first of all, Illinois and New York, which is also a Great Lakes state, on Erie, Lake Erie, they're solid blue. We're not talking about them. But for the remaining, she's in the middle, but as a solid lead, and we know that's to Tim Walz, the governor of that state in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. She's now got, not, I won't say commanding, but we'll say, let's call it published leads. They're talking about it, that she's got the lead in all three of those very key states. And the way they word it on this site, by the way, the light color, the light shade is leans in that direction, light blue or light red. Middle color is likely in that direction. In other words, unless hell freezes over and we get a, oh, wow, how about that? It's going to go to that side. And the darker shade is a safe bet that it'll go to that party. Tan was a toss-up. We've got all them claimed. And we're really not looking at any third parties. There's nothing that anything is going to come to fruition there. In fact, Kennedy is still struggling to get his name off the ballot in so many states. I think the press will take care of that for him. There's going to be the protest vote, but I think anybody that's remotely tuned in is going to know. So let's say she keeps her lead in North Carolina and we go 292 to 246. There's the possible freezing over. If she gets Georgia, if she recovers Georgia for Biden, she breaks 300. This is what I think is going to happen. I don't know that it's going to be with Georgia or North Carolina, but I do think she's going to break 300. Why? Two of her finalists for vice president come from two of the 7 battleground states. Governor Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, who, from what I'm seeing on basic coverage, hasn't even started yet. And she's got a lead. So if he wants anything in the administration, he's going to, be part of the team. I think he's going to, on some level, do that anyway. And he's probably holding out for that last dig so people remember, hey, we like her here. We're going to vote for her. He does that now. That could always change between the end of that stretch and Election Day. Same thing in Arizona, where one of her other finalists is a U.S. Senator. So let's give her Pennsylvania and Arizona and take away Georgia. She still has 303. If you take away North Carolina, she still has 287. I don't think we're any longer talking about her getting the popular vote but losing the Electoral College. I just don't see where. So that's it for today. With that, we got a couple minutes left. I want to talk to you about, well, I mean, we're going to run out of time, clearly. But Gary Vaynerchuk is, I'm going to do that there. Gary Vaynerchuk is an amazing entrepreneur and mentor to so many of us that just follow his social media. Today, our morning motivation is a quote from him that says, I put zero weight into anyone's opinion about me because I know exactly who I am. So Brandon, John, and I'll talk about him, maybe we'll get to him tomorrow. Maybe I'll just let it go. Val, all these people that put this stupid crap on their Facebook page and then don't allow you to comment. And then they get pissed when you tag them to say, hey, I'd like to educate you and show you what an ass you're making yourself look like. It's essentially kind of what I'm saying. Diggs saying, hey, what's up? We're wrapping up, pal. Sorry I missed you. We're every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here. You're getting us on Twitch. Hope to see you again tomorrow. We only got a couple minutes left. But yeah, it's mostly political here, inspirational, like, quotes from people like Gary Vee and other cool people that have inspired me. And then I tell, how that has affected my life. Also, the first thing we do is Pierre's Pot. Pierre Robert is a DJ in Philadelphia that's inspired me. He does a thing of a toast of the morning sauce in the direction of some good citizen, also known as a listener. And the morning sauce is coffee. Today it was Brian Shapiro of KSHP in Las Vegas, on whose show I will be guesting later today, 3:35 Eastern, 12:35 Pacific. Go to Pushing the Limits channel on YouTube, or find the station for KSHP in Las Vegas. And if you're not in Vegas, check it out on the website. That's it for us today. 99.1 WDJY in Atlanta, America One Radio, progressive station also in Atlanta, the UG.media, Rainbow Radio, Yergz Radio, and everybody on the Mastiff Media Network. Remember, put zero weight into anyone's opinion of you. You know exactly who you are. You've been up the middle. See you, gang.